Hey, this is Mike. Happy July 4th weekend. Today is actually Friday the 3rd, and I'm blessed to have the day off. So I've been working out in the yard a little bit and thought it's been a couple months since I've done a video, so I thought I'd pop through quick. Here is that bed that in my previous video didn't have much going on. You can see that it's doing pretty good for our first year. Trying our hand at these southern peas. These are zipper creams. And can zoom in here and we can see that there are just all kinds of pods ready to be picked probably in the next week or two. We've already picked, I don't know, probably several hundred. So it's pretty fun. Pretty happy with how things are coming out, except for over there where the fire ring was. Did a little research though, and I found out that where that fire ring was, the ground is pretty much sterile from the heat and from the alkalinity that comes as a result of all the ashes. So we're going to have to do something to make that a little bit better. Over here we have our blueberries, and it has been a wonderful bumper crop here. Let me zoom in on this one here. You can see we still have a lot to go, and they are just as tasty as can be. And if we look real close, we can see that we have netting on things, which is good because those birds are just over here all the time trying to take what they can. But with the netting on, we've been able to get about probably 13, 14 pounds of blueberries so far this year, and just out of these 12 plants. So it's very encouraging. I think we'll probably finish up at about 20 pounds for 12 plants. In the second year, that's pretty good. Over here, it's kind of hard to see on the video, but I'll zoom in on one. This is a pigeon pea plant, and kind of so-so. We're not getting a lot of them, but all told, through the whole bed here, we probably have 40 or 50 plants that should start producing pods in the next probably month or so. They're really slow. It takes about 160 days for those to fully mature. Over here are our raised beds. If you remember last time, I think we still had peas in there going along this back side, and a couple of cabbage and things like that. This is our cantaloupe bed, and you can see that it has totally taken over, but it's doing well. There's about, I did a count the other day, there's 35 melons in there, and you know, several different varieties. If we zoom in here, you can see we have a big one. I think that's an Israeli. And we go down here, and here we have another one. That is a Carol. And the last ones, there's one over here. That is a Sugar Queen. And those last two, we've already had a couple off, and they are just unbelievably sweet. Here is our squash garden. You can see that it's grown up pretty well. Hasn't generated as much fruit as I would like it to, but I don't know. I think there's something wrong with that bed. I'm going to go up to the A&M extension and do a soil test on it, because we really need to knock it out of the park for fall, so I need to find out what I need to do to that soil. Over here is just a little kind of throwaway bed that we threw some more southern peas or cow peas into. You can see that they are doing okay as well. More importantly, they have totally taken over the bed. It's pretty fun because that was just some really awful dirt before. Here's the tomatoes, and while the tomatoes have been growing like crazy, as you can see, the birds have also been eating them like crazy. And we're typically having to pick them pretty close to that. Otherwise, they get in there and they just chew them up and leave them like that and move on to the next one. It's pretty disheartening. But you can see that they are, tomato plants are going pretty much out of control at this point. Some of them are 15, almost 20 feet long at this point. Here's an example of the birds just totally destroying us. Every one of these that is ready to harvest has bird bites in it. So pretty frustrating. Trying to figure out what we're going to do for next year. The cucumbers are looking awful, but amazingly, as awful as it looks, they're still generating fruit, which is pretty fun. Let's see. Move down here a little bit more. The peppers have been doing well. The bell peppers, not as good as some. You can see we got some here. But as we move down here, you can see that we have some pretty nice stuff going on. Look at the size of that. That's fantastic bell pepper there. These I just went through and picked. These are shishitos, and I think we've probably taken 200 of these off so far. Eventually they'll get very red like that, but we typically pick them about here and let them turn red on the shelf instead. Otherwise, let's see what happens. Something gets in there and they bite them, and at that point they're just garbage. So this is kind of a fun plant. If you want to go and compare this monstrosity here to what it was in previous videos, where it was just the tiniest plant in the whole bed, it is huge now. I don't know if we can capture this on a video, but there are peppers everywhere on it. And let's see, I'll pick one. There's an example. This is a Trinidad Scorpion. On the Scoville scale, it is about the third hottest pepper known to man, and I can vouch for its hotness. It is unbelievable heat. We just, I cut the very tip off one of these, about that much of it, and just touched it to the end of my tongue, and I could taste that touch for 5 hours. So it's crazy. Crazy hot. I don't know what I'm going to do with them, but some people at work said that they're interested in them. If you're interested, give me a holler on my email. Over here you can see that it's haircut time. All the peach trees and my nectarine have gotten their summer cuts, a nice little pruning, get them ready, and actually knock down make them a little less vigorous this time of year, and focus that vigorous growth into these, trying to make them stronger so that next year they'll be able to actually hold the fruit. Otherwise they get really, really long, and they won't be able to hold the fruit. So you can see I've kind of went crazy, but this tree over here, I was super aggressive on pruning last year, and it had over 80 peaches on it this year, just on a little plant like that. Unfortunately, we didn't have it netted, so the squirrels that like to play on that fence up there picked it clean. I think we only got one peach off the whole thing, so we're going to have to come up with a strategy for next year. So that's about it from the Strout Garden for this year. It's been a good summer, and we're just gearing up for fall. All the tomato plants will probably be pulled out in the next 3 weeks probably, and we'll be planting all new tomato plants that'll be young and full of vigor and ready to drop fruit around the second week of October. Oh, there's Mom's rose bush in the back. It's still trying to put it up, even though it's, I don't know, plenty hot. It's about 90 degrees and humid here in East Texas right now. So that's about all I got for today. Again, happy 4th of July weekend to everyone. God bless America, and have a great weekend.